Throughout the music industry, many high-profile artists have started rollouts on albums that for one reason or another were cancelled. In this video, we'll look at 10 cancelled albums by the biggest artists. Original Doll by Britney Spears. In December 2004, pop icon Britney Spears made an unexpected appearance at a Los Angeles radio station, premiering a new track called Mona Lisa and announcing it as part of her forthcoming album Original Doll.
Probably gonna be called the Original Doll, so.
And it's half done?
Yeah, it's halfway done right now.
This surprise move caught her record label off guard. Shortly after that, the label stated that no album is scheduled for the moment, and there were no plans to serve Mona Lisa to radio stations. The abrupt announcement and shelving of the album have led to widespread speculation among fans and industry insiders. Some believe that the album represented a more personal and rebellious side of Britney, which may have conflicted with the label's vision of her image and career trajectory. Despite the album's cancellation, Mona Lisa found its way to listeners through the 2005 EP Britney and Kevin Chaotic. Over the years, Original Doll has received mythical status among her fans, symbolizing a pivotal moment in her career where she wanted more artistic control. Digital Distortion by Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea announced her sophomore album Digital Distortion in 2016. Following the success of her debut album The New Classic, she dropped the song Azalea on SoundCloud to build buzz for the album. Then she released the lead single Team, which was supposed to start off the new era. It was decently successful, peaking at number 42 on the Billboard Hot 100. The project faced multiple delays because of her personal challenges and changes within her label. In 2017, she revealed that the Def Jam CEO at the time had decided to halt the release of any further singles from the album, effectively shelving the project. She also discussed the impact of her personal life on the album's rollout, saying that you wake up one morning and your fiance is having a baby with someone else after her engagement with NBA star Nick Young fell apart. Despite the setbacks, some songs intended for Digital Distortion were later released as part of her EP Survive the Summer, allowing fans a glimpse into the project's original direction. The cancellation of the album marked a difficult period in Iggy's career. After the shelving of the album, her career never really recovered, as she is now releasing music independently, but never getting half the attention she got when she was at her peak. Her Name is Nicole by Nicole Scherzinger. Nicole Scherzinger, the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls, was set up to establish herself as a solo star with her debut album Her Name is Nicole. Announced in 2007, the album was set to feature collaborations with hitmakers like Akon, Pharrell Williams, and will.i.am. Singles like Whatever You Like and Baby were released to build buzz, but none achieved significant commercial success. The lukewarm reception to the singles led to repeated delays in the album's release. By 2008, the album had been quietly cancelled. The failure to produce any hit singles was a key factor in the project's shelving. Nicole later admitted that she felt pressured to deliver something that would match the Pussycat Dolls' success, which may have contributed to the lack of focus in the album's rollout. Despite the setbacks, she eventually released her debut solo album Killer Love in 2011. While Her Name is Nicole remains unreleased, it became a symbol of unfulfilled potential and the challenges artists face while transitioning from a successful group to a solo artist. Artpop Act 2 by Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's Artpop era in 2013 was her most polarizing, full of ambitious concepts and experimental sounds. During the promotional cycle, Gaga teased a sequel to the album, known as Artpop Act 2. The second installment was intended to explore darker themes and feature unreleased material that didn't fit the original Artpop tracklist. Songs like Brooklyn Nights and Temple were rumored to be part of the project, fueling fan excitement. However, Artpop Act 2 never materialized. Following the mixed critical reception and commercial underperformance of Artpop, Gaga shifted her focus to other projects, including her collaboration with Tony Bennett on Cheek to Cheek and her role in American Horror Story Hotel. The cancellation was further complicated by management changes and her growing frustration with the music industry during that time. In a 2021 interview, she expressed gratitude for Artpop, but acknowledging that the era was emotionally draining. Then fans of Artpop launched a petition to demand the release of Artpop Act 2, reigniting interest in the project. While Gaga has not revisited the album, the sequel has become a cult phenomenon among her fanbase. Disco Sweat by Charli Jepsen. Following the success of her 2015 album Emotion, Charli Jepsen began working on a new project, which was supposed to be titled Disco Sweat. It was an exploration of disco-inspired sounds, aiming to capture the essence of dance music from past eras. However, as the creative process unfolded, Charli decided to shift direction, leading to the development of her 2019 album Dedicated. In interviews, she has mentioned that while Disco Sweat was an exciting project, it didn't fully align with her artistic vision at the time. She stated, "I had every intention when I set out on making Dedicated, that it was going to be this understated music to clean your house to, ABBA-inspired disco." Despite the project's shelving, elements of the Disco Sweat sessions influenced tracks on Dedicated. The existence of the Unreleased album has intrigued fans, with many wanting to hear the unreleased tracks. Charli herself has acknowledged the project's cult status among her fanbase, saying that the album is buried in her backyard. XCX World by Charli XCX. Charli XCX's XCX World was one of the most exciting projects in pop music when it was being teased in 2017. Following her success with Sucker and the viral smash Boom Clap, Charli was ready to take her sound into a more experimental and futuristic direction. The album was heavily influenced by PC music because of collaborators like the producer Sophie, and singles like After the After Party and Boys set the stage for an album that promised to fuse hyperpop elements with mainstream appeal. Unfortunately, the album fell victim to leaks. Almost the entire album surfaced online, killing the album's rollout. Charli was disappointed, stating that the leaks derailed the creative process and that she no longer felt connected to the project. The decision to cancel the album was heartbreaking for fans, especially since songs like Taxi and Come to My Party became cult classics in her community. While XCX World never officially saw the light of day, it became a turning point in Charli's career. She leaned further into the experimental pop world with mixtapes like Pop 2 and later albums like Charli and Crash. It was the building block that eventually led to her mainstream moment with Brat. Fantasea 2: The Second Wave by Azealia Banks. In 2012, Azealia Banks gained a cult following with her breakout mixtape Fantasea, which featured her signature blend of hip-hop, house, and electronic music. The mixtape's success led to high expectations for its follow-up, Fantasea 2: The Second Wave. Announced in 2017, the album promised to continue her experimentation with different sounds. Early singles like Escapades and Anna Wintour built a lot of buzz, and she was even talking about it in interviews. However, the album faced multiple delays and roadblocks following a turbulent 2018, including a controversial appearance on Wildin' Out that led to Azalea publicly dissing her label. The album's release was officially scrapped. She later tweeted that she was canceling the album because of her frustrations with the music industry. This marked the end of Fantasea 2, leaving fans disappointed as they never got to hear the album that could have propelled her back to the mainstream. But she sabotaged herself again. I sometimes wonder where Azalea's career would be if she wasn't crazy on social media. Aaliyah's Unreleased 2001 album. In 2001, Aaliyah was at the height of her career, having just released her critically acclaimed self-titled album. But tragically, her life was cut short in a plane crash that year, leaving behind an unreleased collection of songs she had been working on. This material was intended to be a follow-up project, a deluxe edition of her Aaliyah album. Producers like Timbaland, Missy Elliott, and Static Major were heavily involved, crafting songs that reflected her signature blend of futuristic R&B and soul. Following her death, discussions about releasing the unreleased material were going on, but legal and familial disputes over her estate delayed any progress. The rights to Aaliyah's music became a contentious issue, with her uncle and former manager controlling much of her catalog. For years, fans were left in limbo, with only rumors and snippets of unreleased tracks circulating online. In 2021, a record label began re-releasing her discography on streaming platforms, reigniting interest in her music. However, the mystery surrounding her 2001 album has not been revealed. Yandhi by Kanye West. Kanye West is the king of announcing albums he will never release. Yandhi was first announced in 2018 and was meant to be a successor to his groundbreaking 2013 album Yeezus. Kanye's vision for the album was ambitious, blending gospel-inspired themes with experimental production. The hype was big, fueled by teasers, like his Saturday Night Live performance of We Got Love with Tiana Taylor, and a steady drip of snippets on social media. Initially slated for release in September 2018, the album was delayed many times, with Kanye stating that he needed more time to perfect it, while tracks like Hurricane and New Body were previewed and leaked and were eventually released. Yandhi evolved into his 2019 album Jesus is King, a pivot into full gospel music. This dramatic shift left many fans longing for the original, edgier version of the album. Despite Yandhi's cancellation, a version of the album has circulated online, keeping it alive in his fanbase. Detox by Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre's Detox is maybe the most famous unreleased album in music history, becoming a running joke as a myth in the hip-hop world. Originally announced in the early 2000s, as a follow-up to his 1999 classic 2001, Detox was meant to be Dr. Dre's magnum opus, with years of studio sessions and high-profile collaborations that set expectations sky high. Over the years, many songs allegedly intended for Detox surfaced, featuring the likes of Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent. Songs like I Need a Doctor and Kush were thought to be part of the project, but Dre repeatedly delayed the album because he is a perfectionist. By the 2010s, he admitted that he had abandoned the project entirely, explaining that it is no longer a thing. In 2015, he surprised fans with the release of Compton, soundtrack inspired by the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton. While it was a critically acclaimed project, it wasn't the mythical Detox fans had waited over a decade for. Which cancelled albums did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.